Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Boardrooms. This is a podcast series powered by Botree Software where we connect with intelligent minds who are the brains behind the FMCG business in India. We meet up with leaders, talk to them about their incredible journeys, the challenges they faced, the strategies they use to overcome them and solve their business problems. Today, we are going to be meeting Mr. Shriram, who is such an intelligent leader who has a great experience in the FMCG industry. He has solved a record number of problems in business, developed his own growth strategies, and optimized the distribution network for the various companies he has worked for in the last several years of his career. During this talk, we are going to be asking him very deep and incisive questions, trying to learn what powers someone who takes care of these strategies, devises these methods to crack the market, develop the strong distribution network, and also adapt to ever-shifting market strategy. So let's dive in. Shriram, thanks for joining us again. Welcome to this episode of Behind the Boardroom.
Thank you.
So let's start off with something simple, right? Nothing is simple, but then let's start off with pricing strategies, right? So, say I am launching a new product. I'm going to, launch a set of FMCG products. How do I really balance? How do I strike the right balance between finding the right price point, which is affordable for my consumers? At the same time, I stay profitable, right? And I also beat the competition. How does this equation really work?
Yeah, so when it comes to a pricing point, so what is more important is that you have the sense of what value you are giving to the product. The product as such has certain value in the market. So now when it comes to it, considering the current generation, so how we are looking at is with the rise of consumerism, everybody wants a lot of things at a minimal cost. Right. So as I would put it, we call it democratizing the premium. So what happens is everybody wants a premium service or a premium product at a cost which they can buy. So now what happens to companies like us, there is a certain cost involved where you are producing the product, where you're supplying the product. So as a company, what you should be looking for in the pricing is getting your basics right in all the stages. Basics starts from something as simple as the 4Ps, the right marketing mix of the product. Starting from there, you then scale up gradually. That is what companies like us would definitely prefer.
So, what are the most critical factors, right, that are important for me to maintain a very strong P&L standard, right? So, I need to be profitable, but at the same time, I want to democratize the premium, right? So, what are the most important strategies here?
Yeah, so now what is coming to strategy per se, how do you price and make it competitive as well as maintain the profits? So first thing you should look at, the first point when it comes to any product is that the product should be in line with what your company is doing. So the first thing is that product should be with the ethos of the company, right? So say for instance, you are launching a product, say you are a beverage company and you cannot launch a chewing gum directly. So that is not in coherence with what your infrastructure is, what your system is, right? Point number 2, it should be relevant to what is the market you're launching in. Say you're making a ready-made idli, you cannot launch it in Uttar Pradesh, right? So stuff like that, you should be very cautious about it. And third thing is, no product becomes profitable on day one. So you should be cognizant of the fact, how do you scale up the product? So when you're launching any product, you should understand that the scalability comes slowly with distribution. So understand what kind of infrastructure do you have, and understand what kind of a pricing strategy I've put, what kind of a distribution strategy I've put, what kind of a marketing strategy I've put. Put all this together, you'll have to slowly build up and arrive at the profitability.
Understood. That Idli and Uttar Pradesh thing really resonated with me, right? Because if you take one of our customers, right, they have a set of product ranges which are pickles, right? It's a unique product. when I say unique, the benefit is that for every state, depending upon their taste, they are able to cater and push out a pickle product. So, for example, in the south, they can do like a gingerly oil pickle, while they can do a mustard oil pickle for the east, right? So, but then everybody don't have that benefit, right? So that's a huge geological diversity in our country. So how does somebody hit the right spots when I don't have that flexibility? How do you compensate for
Again, it gets compensated by what kind of products do you want to launch in what kind of regions. Say you're a small scale company operating with biscuits, say only in the northern part of India, right? Now you want to take it to a different zone. Understand that one size fits all doesn't work. So you should understand which product to sell in which part of regions. So your supplies are around north for a certain particular product. When you're moving to south, you should figure out which product you should launch. There are possibilities that this product might not work here. So do your groundwork properly, do your market research properly, ensure your CLTs are done properly. So when you're doing all these things, you get a very good understanding of how is the public receptance of this product. Once you feel that yes, based on your research, if your receptance of the product is good, you can scale up using distribution. So yes, you can work on. So like I said, any scale up will work only if your product can distribute well. Right. India is still done by brick and mortar stores. It has a robust general trade and a very strong grocery system, right? Be it any part of India. So unless your product can go for a solid distribution, it still is a little sketchy to get a sizable scale up. Though there are possibilities now that a lot of brands are launching in modern trade, a lot of brands are launching only in quick commerce. So those are all susceptible to price changes. Mm-hmm. It is not necessary that the brands have stickiness. The stickiness gets developed only through your distribution and channel trade. Okay. So when you planning to launch in different locations, different places, what you should be looking at is the product. How receptive is it of that region, and from then how are you going to scale up? If this strategy works well for you, yes, you're good to go.
Okay, and then do it in one place, and then yes, you keep repeating the cycle. The strategy could still change, mm-hmm, but then by and large the set of tasks that you're going through are the same, repeatable.
Exactly. So the point is, if you look at large brands, there are large companies in India who have very good products, but they're not scaled up throughout. Good products not scaled up, whereas you look at mediocre products, they are scaled up all around the country. It's because of this simple difference in their strategies. Right. So what works in one place might not work in other place. What works in, say, East India might not work in West India. Right. The cultural and demographical differences might not suit this kind of development.
Understood.
So that is the reason why you should be very particular where you're launching. You're very particular what you're launching, how coherent is the product to wherever you're launching.
Sure. Thanks. That was very insightful, right? So let us take it to the next step, right? Now I've kind of launched it. I have a set of new launch products, or I have a set of slow-moving products, right? Now there is also a budget for trade promotions. But what kind of trade promotions do I really do, right? How does strategy play a role in deciding how I design my trade promotions?
Okay, so trade promotion in general is something that is given to lubricate your trade. Mm-hmm. So what you should ensure when you are giving a trade promotion is how well the promotion is getting passed on to the retailer or the consumer. So again, when you're giving a trade promotion, what is more important is how you are communicating it to the retailer. So when you're planning a budget, when you're planning an allocation, see, there are brands that need a lot of inputs. There are brands that need very less inputs. Say a very popularly known brand might not need so much input to sell, whereas you're launching a new product, it might need a lot of input to sell. So look at how much can you spend, what is your spending capacity in this kind of a system, and that will actually help you understand how much you can drive the product. Now coming to how well you can implement it, it depends on a lot of communication that is going. So your trade promotions might be very good, but as long as it cannot be communicated to the retailer or the consumer who's finally buying it, it's going to be pointless. Right. So what is important here is that when you have a trade promotion built, it should go at the right stage, to the right time, to the right people, along with effective communication. So that is the key which brings you success in getting any new product promoted.
Okay.
And trade promotion, like I said in the beginning, it's only a lubricant to trade. It's not anything to feed the channel partners.
Okay.
It's only specific to trade, and it should remain sacrosanct to trade. And only then that will ensure the success and development of the product.
Okay. Okay. So you spoke about channel partners, right? So what are the strategies on how I construct my channel partners, right? How do I treat each channel differently in a way that it deserves, right? And what are the strategies around that? What should be my thought process?
So coming to channel strategies, so there are a lot of channels coming up right now. So when you're managing channels as a company, you should ensure that all your channels are firing. So now coming to that, when you see channels, there are some places where recently urban has been picking up, and urban has been picking up on all the quick comms, e-coms and everything, right? Whereas rural is still catching up. So now when you consider broadly two channels, one is urban, one is rural. If you look at last few years, rural has been firing for India because of the tech, because of the information, because of the data. A lot of things are available. So rural has been firing. So when you look at different channels like this, every channel has its own benefits, its own disadvantages, its own way to get into, its own way to promote. You should understand what demarcates this channel, be it a retail or a wholesale or a key accounts or a, say, modern trade or a e-commerce. What is differentiating these accounts, and what is giving you the heads up over these accounts? So primarily what most of the organizations work on is a sort of a loyalty program which runs throughout the system. So when this loyalty program runs throughout the system, what happens is that you are able to give a input which is fairly good enough for the product to run well, and you are also able to communicate with the retailer. See, like your brand, there are 15 other brands going to a retailer, and he has to be sure which brand is giving me which input. So now when you have it simple, when you have it in line with what the retailer wants, when you have it simple, when you have it uniform without much of changes, the retailer also remembers. It has to be consistent. Retailer also remember, yes, this brand is giving me this kind of an input, and doing this, I'm going to get this kind of a benefit.
Right.
So your channel always remain intact. So the retailer remains loyal to you. Retailer remains your customer forever. So that is something you have to maintain importantly. And again, repeating my previous point, channel program also is effective only when you communicate it properly. Ultimately, whatever channel strategy is you make, it's going to be good only if your entry-level salesman is able to understand and execute it. Ultimately, the person who is going and selling the product is this person.
Right.
So if this person is not able to understand your channel strategy or channel inputs, there is no point in making the strategy at all. So the entry-level salesman should be able to sell your channel or your product through this channel. Only then this is going to be very effective.
Sure, thank you. When I was thinking about channel strategies, right, there are some companies who launched on a D2C basis and then went on to be largely successful, right? And then they branched into, tech online selling, and then they branched into actual physical sales. Whereas huge, corporates before have already started from the brick and mortar stores, and then they discovered online, and then maybe they are struggling to do their D2Cs now, right? So how do you, if somebody is starting up, right, or if somebody is trying to scale their business, right, how do they really decide what is best for them? How to go about deciding this, right? And how do you do the budget allocations on each channel, right? Would somebody decide this?
Yeah, so if you look at these D2C customers or D2C brands and everything, largely these are urban. Largely these brands are urban. So D2C has always been existent in India. If you look at last 50 years, someone is serving milk to your house. Right? It has always been existent in India. Only thing is, it is a different format we are looking at right now. Right?
Okay.
And if you look at now, why D2C is becoming successful? Because of the communication. So the person who is dropping milk in your house is dropping only in your locality. He will never be able to scale up. Right? So what these brands are looking at is doing the same thing but on a large scale. They are able to match these needs.
Right.
So if you look at a Quickcom now, Quickcom is matching the needs at a pin code level. Now you're staying in, say, Chennai. You'll say the needs of a person in Anna Nagar is different from the needs of a person in Egmore. you're able to get so much differentiation. So you're able to give so much of differentiated inputs. I'm telling to Egmore, give me a discount on XYZ product, to Annanagar, give a discount on XYZ product. So to boost your sales, you're able to do that. So this kind of information people are able to give, and that is the reason why people are able to scale up through these channels. However, what happens when you want a larger scale up? India still remains largely a rural to rural plus urban market. It's not a completely urban market, though the consumption now is trending towards becoming urban. If you look at, you say the town class 1, which is towns with more than 1 lakh population, they are the ones that are booming now. So these are the crowd that is aspirational who want to develop now. So when you get into any of these towns, your D2C or any quick com is still there to penetrate. They are not yet penetrated there, right? So when you want to grow with the market, so grow with the economy, you still resort back to your brick and mortar strategy, which is a general trade. Now coming to how do we differentiate this? It's differentiated based on what do you want to do. So if you say, I want to launch a value product, a product which is going to give me a lot of value for money, obviously I'm not going to look to launch that in a city. City people look for more premium. Now like I said, the TC1 people, they're looking for slightly more premium products at an affordable range. So I'm not going to launch this product in a quick commerce. I'm going to launch this in somewhere a general trade where people want say, yeah, I'm liking this product, but I can pay only so much. Yes, I'm doing it. Whereas if you launch a product which is premium, which you have people who can test your product. So in terms of say marketing, people say triers. So these people are largely present in the urban market. Now that line is also getting divided considering the information that is being given. And these people are the ones who try the product. So when you're trying a very premium product, the person who can afford and try is going to be in your urban. Now coming to the budget allocation. Now once you've decided what product to sell where, that is your first demarcation. Second is how much budget you want to give. Now that totally depends on your opportunity sizing. So how much do you want to scale up this product? So I'm selling 10 pieces today. So if I want to scale it up to 1,000 pieces or 50,000 pieces, how much should I invest to scale this up? So if I'm selling already 10,000 pieces, now I want to maintain my 10,000. How much do I spend? So I have to just maintain now. I don't have to increase. So what is your objective? That determines your budget allocation. So where do you want to scale up? How do you want to scale up? What do you want to scale up? So all these things determine what budget to be allotted for each of these channels. Okay. And say there are certain channels which are extremely input oriented. There are certain channels which require minimum inputs. That also plays a factor finally when it comes to decide all these things.
Sure. Understood. So let's now talk about brands that have done well on the urban side, right? But need to devise strategies to break into the rural and the semi-rural markets, right? So how do they go about doing the right things to increase their market share as well as drive their growth?
Okay. So when you say rural and urban, semi-urban markets, so what is right to do is setting up your channel partners correct in this region. So, as a sales team, what happens is that generally people have this temptation, yes, I'm going to have a distributor here, it's going to give me another 5-6 lakh of sale rupees. So I'm okay with that. So that kind of a thought process runs in the mind of people. So what you should stick to is a proper cluster-based approach. So I would say earlier, long back, people had a region-based approach, and then now it has gone to a state level and a cluster level. In India, what happens is every 100 kilometers, the palette differs. So simple as something as simple as sambar. When you eat it south of TN, is different from sambar you eat in Chennai. So that is the kind of palate difference that people have. So you cannot cater to all of them at single point of time. So what works in say western part of Uttar Pradesh might not work in Bundelkhand. So you will have to understand what you have to do. So what is the right approach here is to set up your distributors properly in a cluster-based approach, which will give you results. So you should resist those temptations when you have, okay, I'm going to operate only this 5 districts. Let me set up these 5 districts. Now let me not go and open another distributor there because I have someone contact there who's going to give me certain business. You will not be able to handle it. You will have to work on a proper geography, designated area, work on your strategy, what is going to work here. So because a lot of things change when you open a new region, right? So say one part of a state might sell premium products, another part of the state sells value products. So when I'm going to open this region, I have designed products only for this region. So if I go and place this product in this region, it's not going to sell. It's going to be a loss-making proposition, right? So this is the thing that is very important when you are opening up districts, when you're setting up your distribution. So it should give you that laser sharp focus. Yes, these are the districts I'm going to open. These are the towns I'm going to appoint my sub-dealers. These are the towns I'm going to distribute my products. Once I reach a certain level here, you keep a benchmark revenue. This is the benchmark I'm going to reach. Once I've reached, yes, now let me figure out how to open this area. Might be it might work with this products, it may not work with this product, but I'm not sure. But for in this particular area, I'm for sure this is going to work because this is already tested.
Right.
So you should have that laser sharp focus on distribution as well. So when quick comms do a laser sharp delivery at a pin code level, I think it's time that FMCG firms also pick that up, taking a very particular spots on distribution and developing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of ties into where I was going next with the question, right? If you say now that I have kind of established, if an FMCG brand have kind of established them across all the geographies, right? But then there are some emerging markets which weren't there a few years ago, right? With rising revenue and standards, right? The purchasing power has increased sharply, predominantly at urban and also in the urban areas, right? So some new markets have emerged. Now, how do I address these markets? What do I do differently to tap into that market?
Now, what happens in these markets is that there is a lot of local connect. So there is a lot of local connect. There is a lot of different channel operation, either a super stockist or a wholesale based operation, and these local connect helps product there to sell. So when you see such markets, you will find say products that are not there in the rest of the country, only available in this small particular market, because these are the areas that are in fact boosting our economy also. This is where it is developing now. If you look at the towns that are greater than 1 lakh population are growing faster than the cities. Right, so that is where even the government is also trying to invest and get them developing. So these are the towns where, like you said, it is right to set up your product there. But how do we do it? Fairly simple. In any product, in any area where this kind of a setup is there, the right way to go with is a right direct distribution and have a proper retailer connect. So the only way you can create a awareness about your product, only way you can distribute your product is by creating this kind of a retailer connect and direct distribution, where you can give a proper input to the retailer or give a proper communication to the retailer. Tell them, sir, this is my product. My product has these features. So please buy. So whatever trade promo anybody operates or whatever local players are playing, if you are a big brand, if you're getting into any of these market, what is going to help you is this retail connect and a very strong direct distribution. So when it comes to these towns, the service that you provide them, the supplies, the service, the kind of communication you provide them beats all kind of inputs, beats all kind of different channel activities that are happening there. So that's a thumb rule. The service that you provide, the kind of the quality of products that you provide, it is going to beat all other regional connect. So when you want to get into these things, this is the only way to do it.
Sure. So, along with the diversity in the market, right, I think we are also a very fragmented market, right? So, the competition might not be the same everywhere. The competition could be very local, sometimes very hyper local, right? It's not like you have two large corporates fighting it out equally in every place there is. So, you might have a free rein in an area, but you might be heavily challenged in a zone or a state or a few districts. So how does somebody figure out how our strategies are going to work across, right? Not one will work, but at the same time, how do we really deal with this fragmented market problem?
Yeah, so this is it's partially answered by my previous question as well. So when it comes to all these towns that we're talking about, the urban towns basically, if you look at the urban towns and the urban markets these days, fragmentation is what is happening now. You see about 10-15 years back, when you consider industries like confectioneries, there are hardly 2-3 players, biscuits, 2-3 players. Now you see everybody having a biscuit, everybody having a different confectionery. Right. So people have a lot of products in one market. Again, answering it with the previous question itself, what beats things here is going by direct distribution. One, Second point is what you should really look in these fragmented markets is how do you ensure your quality of service remains the same throughout this
The experience.
the experience, yes. And how does your product fare better than any of these things? See, now you are a product, a different, say a national player or a regional player getting into a particularly local market, so you're already aware of what is happening everywhere around, so you should have the preparedness to get into this market. Now if you're going to say I'm going to get into a rural market and I'm going to sell a premium product there, it's not happening. Right, so it has to happen there. And when you go into this kind of a market where it is extremely fragmented, your quality of service, like I said, is extremely important. Next point, this product. When it comes to the, again, apart from the product, what you can also do in this kind of a places is slowly start moving up your communications. So these areas, so when you are urban already, people are very comfortable using apps, using this thing. So in case XYZ person does not supplies them by an ABC person, so people are very comfortable. When it goes to the rural, people are still adapting to the change, the information, the data, the kind of data people are processing now is slowly improving in those regions also. So you should start getting to understand how do we connect with these people, how do I improve my connection with these people. So once your awareness, once your service, once your product, everything remains in the top of the mind, and the service always remains intact, the consistency is always maintained, nothing can beat your product. Because these people, the people you're talking about, urban people, are aspirational people, but they don't switch loyalties as quick as urban people.
Okay.
So people in urban, they are not very brand, the brand consciousness in them is slowly reducing.
Okay.
Whereas these people are aspirational, they want to grow in life.
Okay.
So when they want to grow in life, they want to grow along with something else. This something else is going to be all the products that they are selling. Basically the retailers, the grocers, the supermarkets in all these regions. So all these things should be consistent to ensure that you're successful in these fragmented markets.
Okay. I can relate to what you just said, right? Because a huge exception in normal understanding, because we were doing a market visit to a tier 2, tier 3 town, no, tier 3 really, right? Town, and I was very surprised to see a small shop selling large amounts of fabric conditioners, right? They had small sachets hanging in there, and they were actually selling quite a bit of fabric conditioners in that market, right? I would have never expected that market to actually consume this product, right? So that is where, I think as a consumer market, we stand out. We throw exceptions in every turn. That is very interesting to see.
Yeah, so it just happens. So even in my experience, one of the towns, not even town, it's a village in Rajasthan. So when I was visiting in my market visit, I saw a premium candy shop there. Mm-hmm. So I was wondering, this does not even exist in cities. Okay. How did these guys have a store for this premium candy shop here, okay, right? So that kind of awareness people are getting. Now the point there is that you have a consumption change. So if you look at, there are people who are willing to buy biscuits at 30 rupees, 40 rupees now. Probably when you were a child, you would have 5 rupees max, exactly. So now people are okay buying 35, 40 rupees. You see the younger generation willing to eat more cream biscuits. Nobody wants to eat the regular cookies, right? People want to eat more cream biscuits now, or filled biscuits now. And same with chocolates. People want to eat more of a bigger chocolate than, when you were a child, or when I was a child.
Or a more premium one.
Yeah, I would have preferred a 5 rupee chocolate. Yeah. Now people are very easily buying 90 rupees, 100 rupees. So people want to buy, people want to try, people want to grow. People are aspirational. People think that, yes, I should live this life. Right? So that kind of attitude people are developing.
Okay.
So when it comes to that, these are the consumption pattern that people are also changing. So when you slowly set up into these towns, it's going to develop your product as well.
Right. You spoke a lot about how the salesperson who's on the ground, right? They are the carrier of your messaging, right? You could run 100 ads, you could print so many ads, you could do so many things. But if the salesperson does not communicate properly at the end, right, it doesn't connect. So, it is given that they hold a huge sway in how things work out, right? So, what are the differentiators, right? How can we train? How can we motivate? Obviously, there are 100 strategies that various companies have tried, right? In your opinion, in your thoughts, what are the few things that FMCG companies should do?
So, to come with a salesman, you should understand the basics of the sales first. So if the salesman has a proper beat map to him, so proper area map to him, and this mapping, is it done scientific? Now there are scientific tools available to make a beat. So say 15-20 years back, all they do is, okay, I know this area, this street A, this street B, this street C, so you just map this to him. Now there are scientific tools available to map this kind of a sales program to him or sales beat to him, and he's going to visit all these in a proper structured fashion. I'm going to go to route A on Monday, and this Monday, say if it's a weekly visit, I'm going to go to this route A same on next Monday. So this consistency remains. So the first thing you should ensure is the area map to him is proper. There are outlets in the region, there is a market to sell in that region, and there are scientific tools available to do that, and you should not go by hunch in your region. So there could be possible, yes, I am living here for 50 years, I know this place. You may be right, you may be wrong, but when there is a scientific data to give you a direction, please go by it.
There should be a method to the way
Exactly.
you, yeah.
So there should be a proper scientific approach to do area mapping and beat mapping. The next thing is to give him a proper SOP on selling. What is the selling story? You're selling a project or a product. Whatever you're selling, you should have a proper selling story to it. So what am I selling? So I cannot go randomly and sell biscuit. How is my biscuit better than any other biscuit? If the salesman does not have an answer, no use. Right? You should have a proper selling story to the product that you're selling, and the salesman should be trained on what is the communication that you are passing from your boardroom. So as as a sales manager or as a sales strategy person, you will create a certain strategy to sell a product. Has this been passed on to the last mile is something that you have to ensure.
Right.
So the salesperson has to be trained starting from beginning. This is what you have to sell. These are the communication you should talk to outlet. So every morning and evening you have to train him on these are the things that you should do productively. These are the things you should do every day, every evening. These are the things you should talk about, and you should carry a catalog or visual samples so that the retailer also knows what am I selling.
Right.
Stays on his top. And lastly, the consistency of salesman should remain the same throughout his career. So if it's a weekly or a bi-weekly or a fortnightly, so I'm going on a Monday, if it's a fortnightly visit, I should go the third Monday. I should not miss my route, and I should visit all my outlets.
Right.
So that is something that you have to ensure your salesman is doing.
Sure. Technology is reshaping not just the CPG industry, right? It's just doing that to the whole world. So how does one employ technology to our own benefit while working with these salespersons, and how do we enable them to outperform the competitor in the market?
So technology in the last few years has gone for a drastic change. If you look at it, a few years back, people were operating with manual bills, going places, taking orders manually, drawing roads and papers and showing the salesman, this is your route and everything. Now, if you look at the salesman, people have everything in the phone. If you look at Botree's app for that, and the one that I have seen is that they have a feature where you just put a direction and you go to the outlet. Suppose I am changing the salesman, I have no problem. I know where the outlet is. I know what the sale is. So that way, technology has given us so much of inputs that we don't need a lot of manual effort to maintain the record and manual effort to drive the sale. Now, how can it become better? So there are things that are being developed globally. So if you look at it, there are things as good as just capturing the photo of a shelf. One of the projects that I've worked on is, and it tells you what percentage of your product is missing, which product is missing, and it automatically goes as an order in the salesman's device. So technically, all you have to find out what is your order is to take a photo. It has come down to that level. Now, how will it develop further is that people are getting in new technologies like AI and ML, where you get a predictive model of what kind of sales you're expecting in this region. Suppose I'm going into a new region, we were talking about some time. So when you put a tag there are regions that will be similar to this region. So you know that when I'm entering this region, this XYZ is going to be my sale in this region also. So that is one feature. The next feature is going for an AR. What I do is I will go for a physical show of a product. Yes, this is my product. Please buy this. So in future, it's going to be an AR. I just have to click and it's going to boom. So it will be like, I'll show a product. Yeah, this is my product. Please see. So you don't have to carry anything physically. And you see all the maps and everything have made our life like 150% easier. You don't have to remember anything. All of it is there in your hand, right? So all these tech interventions, not just salesman. It has made the life of the company, the retailer, everybody easy. So when I say run a loyalty program or anything, so it's easy for me. I'm going to pass on the credits of the loyalty program directly to the retailer. All I have to do is KYC. If you had asked me like 8 years, 10 years back, was there a possibility that I can debit money into like thousands of people directly? Now I will say it is fairly easy, not even difficult. So there are projects that I have worked on. We have done KYC of a lot of retailers. It's not just about data, it's about giving them a proper service. So when you are working on these things, this technology enables us to give them their reward within 3 days, 4 days.
Right.
31st month gets over, 4th, the money is credited to your account. Right. So earlier you'll have to write down what is happening or send
45 days.
45 days, bare minimum, absolutely. So you have to write down, get this, everything. So imagine you run a program for Diwali, you get the payout by Valentine's Day. Right. So retailer will have forgotten what is this. So this, you can always remain on top of retailer side. Yes, the service is really good. Coming from a tech per se. So all these technology has enabled to make our life easier, make our business easier, scale up our business, give them a consistency. So all these things are fairly developing us. This is what even I am looking forward to, that this will further develop, get new technologies. Life becomes another 50% easier, and so is the business.
Absolutely. Shriram, next let us talk about another crucial peg in the entire game, right? It is about the distributors, right? Technology has evolved, people have evolved, our strategies have evolved. How has this impacted the distributors, right? Do you see a shift in their mindsets as to adoption of technology? Are they more open to newer strategies that the companies come up with? What is their role in the entire, how do you see their role changing in the entire scheme of things?
So when it comes to the distributors, I see there is a shift in distributors mentality. So earlier it used to be a family run business. Now it's more shifting towards an individual run business, not pertaining to a family or hereditary business.
Okay.
That is one of a key change. Second point is that distributors earlier themselves managed a lot of things. So when the salesman is not there, the distributor goes to the market, distributor moves the entire market, understands everything. Now it is not practically possible. Now the point is they also run a different business, or they also have a lot of other things or commitments to do. So they rely on tech to understand all these things. So in fact, we hear distributors asking us directly, please give a DMS, because we want to keep a record of all this data. And the government has also evolved a lot from the last 15 years. A lot of taxation has been made streamlined. So all this has made them also file taxes properly. All the audits, taxations, everything has to be done in a streamlined process. So for this, they need proper data, everything to be in their hand. So we see them asking us directly, please give us DMS. So that kind of development distributors are also bringing into the system. Now when it comes to the sales strategy, ultimately distributor also wants a development in business. A person who's operating say at 50 lakhs wants to move to 1 crore. So they also want a business. So when your sales strategy is in line with this, developing the business for them, they are willing to cooperate, they're willing to develop. So all that you should ensure is that you have a proper distributor, how your distribution network is proper. Do a proper health check, continue with a proper distributor, yes. However, the only place where I see a little bit of difference moving forward is that earlier you used to find distributors who's operating with only one product. So say I'm a big brand, product A I'm operating, I'm exclusively operating this product A. However, now you see a lot of distributors operating multiple products.
Right.
So they want to scale up their business also. So not just vertically but horizontally, have a bit of the product. So they want to supply, say, I am a distributor in this region, I'm going to supply you A, B, C, D, 4 products. I'm going to come to your outlet for 4 products. So that is a shift in mentality that I am also seeing.
Okay. Good, thanks. When you say you let us assume that you are now a manager scouting to appoint a distributor in a specific region, right? And you are traveling the market yourself. What are the key things that you would look for in your optimal distributor?
Yeah. So when I'm thinking like a sales manager, what I would see is that a distributor, it should have a First thing is we should have a proper SOP of appointing a distributor. A lot of companies do not have a proper SOP. So even the large firms. So the thing is that it should include proper criteria how the distributor is going to get appointed. If you look at it, there should be a proper service in the region. You should scout how is the distributor servicing, how many outlets is the distributor covering, what are the other brands of the distributor operating, how financially healthy is the distributor. A lot of distributors operate on overdrafts. Right? So how financially healthy is the distributor? How much is the money the distributor is willing to invest in your product? And how much your product will mean to them? The last point, not a lot of people will check. The point is, you see, yes, this ABC distributor is a great distributor operating at a 3 crore business. So when you're going to give him a business as small as 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, he's not going to give you importance. So ultimately, a product's success depends 50% on the distributor as well. How much interested is this person in your product to scale up this product?
Right.
That also is important. So along with all these things, you have to check this point as well. And all these criteria put together properly, you should appoint a distributor. Only thing is, a lot of people do not have a proper structured checklist. So these all to be met, only then I'm going to appoint this person as distributor. That I think every FMCG firm should start working on.
Right.
So basically the infrastructure, like I said, is key. The vehicles, own vehicles, rental vehicles, outlet supplied, the salesman, the distributor is able to provide. So all these adequate infrastructure, they should check it.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Thanks. So we have spoken about a lot of things, right? And if you take any FMCG company and I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do, right? There are 1,000 problems, right? And there are 1,000 ways in which you could devise your strategies and solve problems, and advice is there everywhere, right? But according to you, what is one key thing, right? This is absolute must, the right thing that you should get proper for you to do properly, do better in the market, right? What is your advice?
So my one advice would be discipline. So discipline is a must. For any market operation, any channel, any brand, any product, any company. So earlier, me as a sales manager, when I had worked as a sales manager, I have seen markets operations start at 7 a.m. I have seen delivery vehicles leave at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. sometimes. That's the kind of discipline you expect from people. So when you want to service, when you want to give a proper business service to people, you should be very disciplined. So what is the difference I'm seeing right now is that because of a lot of technology, life has become easy for people. So while technology has to be aiding them boost the sales, now it is making people lazy. So what people are doing is, wherein 9 a.m. they have to hit the market. People know where is the outlet directly, not even in mind, in front of their eyes. So we're not really sure if they're going to visit all the outlets also. A lot of orders come through phones, a lot of orders are just taken. I know this guy is going to sell only so much. So based on all their hunch, all their recorded data they have in their hand, in their palm top, life has become much easy, but it does at the same time become a little indisciplined as well. So the only way to maintain your success or continue your success is going to be discipline. So if I have to hit the market at 9 a.m., yes, I have to. If I have to go for a market visit, all the 40 outlets, 50 outlets, yes, you have to do. There is no other option. So this starts not only from the salesman. It starts from salesman, goes up to manager level also. So the quality of work, the timelines that were being followed, if you consider not very long, even about 6 to 8 years back versus what is happening now, there has been a drastic change. You see people not hitting the market till 11 a.m. now, so that is not good. So all these things are changed just because of the intervention of a lot of technology. So that is a message that I would like to tell everybody. So you should have tech. Tech should enable development, and development should enable business. It is not going to work the other way around, where tech is making your life easy and you sit in your place and continue business that way. That's not going to work. Discipline is a must.
Excellent. Well said. Thanks, Shriram, for your time and your suggestions and your advice. I think the thought leadership is very helpful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
To our viewers, thanks for tuning in. We hope you loved this episode. If you like our content, please subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn for quick updates and information on upcoming episodes. We would love to hear your thoughts. So please feel free to write to us, marketing@botree.co.in. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired. Until we see you in the next episode.